Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Grad Spotlight. I'm Tracy Evans of Dreamwinds Equine-Assisted Learning Center, and I'm excited to be interviewing Alicia Quennell today of Quest EAL. Welcome, Alicia. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, thanks so much for having me today.
So, tell me a little bit about your business and what you're doing, and what life looked like before you came to equine-assisted learning.
Okay, well, we are definitely at the grassroots at the very start of our business because I am still working in my grown-up job as a teacher in the Peel District School Board over here in Ontario, Canada. And that is really my background in education. And like all the little girls out there who always loved horses, my goal is to transition out of teaching and into working with horses more full time in the near future. So that's kind of my goal with the business now that I have some training in my real life.
Excellent, excellent. And what first drew you to this work?
Well, like I said, I've always loved being with horses. And a few years ago, I suffered an injury, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to continue riding. And while my daughters were riding, we were given the opportunity to start owning a horse. And I was very lucky because we were already part of a family of riding at a community where a friend of ours, Denise, had established an amazing riding school. She had started that like about 30 years ago. And so that community had existed where we could bring in a horse and have him sort of partnering with my kids. But then he also sustained an injury in that space. And so we thought, needed to be retired. So we took him to a family farm and he took a bit of a break. And so I could really empathize with that sort of experience of being injured and having to go a little bit slower. And we did think he was going to have to be put out to pasture for being a bit of a pasture puff. And I was accepting of that. And, the kids were continuing to ride, but I wasn't able to ride at the time. And going slow and recovering from injury was what I knew. And so I wanted to see how I could kind of transition as I was healing and what I might be able to learn about with horses. And that's kind of when I learned more that I could kind of blend my teaching and my recovery at the same time. And we then learned that Wilson would be able to continue uh, working and partnering with us in equine assisted leadership. So that was really when I got a bit more excited about what I could do in the future of horses. And now I will be able to. So it's really exciting.
I love it. And I know you're taking a slightly different path to get started, and you're writing a book, and you're extremely passionate about the equine assisted learning space. So tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, so my book is called Wilson's Journey, and it's actually a series of books that are for children. It's picture books, and as a teacher, I'm an English teacher and a teacher librarian, and I've had a lot of experience with books and writing books, and I've partnered up with Pandemonium Publishing, which is actually out of Toronto. And Lacey Baker, who is the head of that publishing company. I got a chance to meet her a few years ago, and she's a lot like us. She's an educator and a promoter of literacy and mental health and wellness for young people. So she and I got off to a great start. And, we really want to promote the same things, wellness and partnership and leadership. So that is really what our stories are about, working together, collaboration, and finding community. And of course, being with and partnering with horses is also what that's about. So the story of Wilson's journey is similar to mine, working together and finding friendship, even when it's tough, when you have to move. And that's Wilson's first story is about his big move. And as he transitions from one farm to another, struggling, but also being brave and finding new friends and a lot of the things that we work on in EAL are the things that, we do in real life. And that's why the experiential learning is so important and what I really value in our program. And it blends so well with the type of teaching that I've done for so many years, which also is about collaboration, not just with my partners and educators, but with the students that I work with as we build our classroom space and the curriculum that we want to work on together.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, I know you say it's a children's book, but I think there's a lot of adults that can relate to that and having to move. I certainly made a huge move a few years ago to come down to Tryon,
Right?
and it's been a journey to connect with my community and build friendships here, meaningful friendships, having had such long-term friendships up in Canada, which of course I still cherish and maintain, but I think we can all relate to those big changes and the learnings and teachings that Wilson's going to bring to the table. So that's very exciting. Very good.
Thank you.
So as you think about your EAL certification, I know you've done a couple of other trainings as well. What would you want someone to know who's thinking about EAL? What would you want them to know before deciding where to go? What do you think they need to consider?
Well, I think what's very important about the program is that it's accessible for everyone, and that we as a community are working to bring that to folks and make that available, which is part of my quest. What I'm working on here as a teacher right now is to build awareness in our community and make sure that folks are starting to become more aware that this service is available. Right now, we're small, but we're building, and our voice is not small. We have a big voice, and we're proud of the work that we're doing, and we want to share that within our communities here in the Greater Toronto area, the Greater Hamilton area. And so that's part of the work I'm doing with some of the other EAL facilitators here, making those connections and trying to build the awareness piece and looking for other community partners. As I said, right now, it's just me and Wilson, like in the basement writing stories and trying to get some followers on social media and making those connections. I don't have my own farm or my own facilities because like I said, my background's in teaching and loving horses. So I'm looking to continue to build my foundation and make connections.
Amazing. Well, I'm hoping our community can help you do that. We have a wonderful graduate community, and that's
We sure
always
do.
been my vision and hope for that we all come together and we be that loud voice so that AL can become something much more mainstream and top of mind for people.
Exactly.
Wonderful. So looking ahead, what are you most excited about building? What's coming up for you?
The summer.
Yes, I bet. I feel for my Canadian friends.
Oh my goodness.
It's
I think
currently
the summer
February
is
27th for
coming.
those who are watching later. It's cold up
Yes.
there.
I am working to build my experience, volunteer with other EALs this summer. I also work at Woodbine Raceway just to build my experience handling and being around horses. And, obviously helping other EALs as we get out in the community and practice my skills because I'm just like this fresh.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I love that, you're in an area in Ontario where there should be lots of opportunity for you to step into other programs with our graduates and see all the different types of programs that they're running as well. So hopefully you'll
Mhm.
get a breadth of experience as you start to grow your own programs. And you're saying
Mhm.
you're starting to build your own social media stuff, your social media followers. So where can people learn more about you and your work?
I just started an Instagram page and I've been sharing some of the experiences I've had in the summers. I have led camps and done scrapbooks, and Wilson and I have done lots of adventures, gone to trail rides and visited the lake and done lots of things like that. So I love working with animals and doing crafts. So I'm trying to show that, we can be versatile and try lots of these fun and adventurous types of things, which are all part of just building our capacity and, trying to be experiencing that growth mindset with, our animals because they need a voice and having those opportunities, I think, will help everyone learn what's available, and hopefully sharing on social media will help share what's available in the other communities as well.
Excellent. Well, we will have your contact information following this recording. So we'll put your slide up with your Instagram and hopefully get you some more followers so that we can see how Quennell EAL is going to grow out of all the work that you're doing to get prepared. So I really
Thank you.
appreciate you joining us, Alicia. Thank you so much. It's always great to connect, and I'm just excited to continue to follow your story and share your progress as we go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You have a great day and stay warm.
Oh my gosh, right?